Okay, friends, we have one job. Jesus gave us one job, and that is to love one another. This is the whole point of our VBS this year, is to teach us how to do this one job. Now, a couple of years ago, when my daughter Skylar was really young, she was walking around the house with her head down, sort of acting kind of shy. And I knew that something was sort of off with her. And she looked at me like from around a corner, and she went and she sort of hid back. And so I went over to her and I said, "Hey, honey, like what's wrong? You're acting kind of funny." And then she like lifted up her big brown eyes and she wouldn't talk, but she wanted to grab my hand. And so I followed her up to her bedroom. She got in her bedroom and then I sat down on the floor and I was like, "Honey, just tell me what is wrong. Tell me what is going on with you." And then she went and she opened the door to her closet and she climbed all the way back into the closet. She came out with her hand closed and she opened it up. And there was one of my bracelets that I had gotten. It was a beaded bracelet that I'd bought in Ghana, and she had broken it. It was in a bunch of little pieces, and she had this deep guilt and these little sweet tears coming down her face. Friends, we've all been there. We've always had something that we've hidden back in the closet, something that we feel ashamed or guilty of, something that we wish that we wouldn't have done, and so we want to hide it. We want to not face up to it, or we want to ignore it. Now, today's Bible story is from the book of 1 John chapter 4. John writes, this is how God showed God's love for us. He sent his one and only Son into the world so that we might live through him. This is love, not that we have loved God, but that he loved us and he sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God's love lives in us and God's love is made complete in us. I looked at my daughter Skylar and I knew the shame and the guilt that she was carrying. And I looked at the bracelet and I said to Skylar, "You know what, honey? Here's the truth. There's nothing that you could do to make me love you less." And then she cried and I held her and I reminded her, there's nothing you could do to make me love you less. One of the best ways we can live out our one job to love one another is to forgive each other, is to keep the main thing of loving one another the main thing. You've got this. I know that you can do that. So ask your VBS kid tonight. Number one, when's a time that you know that you have made a mistake? And when you were forgiven, what did that sort of feel like? Number two, when's a time that you've forgiven someone else for a mistake that they've made? How did that feel?